In the heart of Ghana, nestled between rolling hills and vibrant markets, lay the village of Ikamfi. It was a place where the air was thick with the scent of fresh mangoes and the sound of laughter echoed through the streets. Here lived Aina, a woman of great beauty and kindness, known for her radiant smile and generous spirit. Aina was married to Kwame, a man whose charm and handsome face had won her heart many years ago. Aina's best friend was Zola, a woman of striking features and a fiery personality. The two women were inseparable, having grown up together and shared countless memories. Zola was often seen at Aina's house, where they would sit on the veranda, sipping hibiscus tea and talking about everything under the sun. One sunny afternoon, as Aina and Zola sat on the veranda, Aina noticed something different about her friend. Zola's usually flat stomach had a noticeable swell to it. Aina's eyes widened with surprise and curiosity. "Zola, are you pregnant?" Aina asked, her voice filled with excitement. Zola's cheeks flushed with a mixture of emotions, and she nodded. "Yes, Aina. I am." Aina jumped up and hugged Zola tightly. "This is wonderful news. But tell me, who is the father? When did this happen? You've never mentioned a man." Zola hesitated, her eyes darting away. "It's a bit complicated, Aina. The father is someone I met not too long ago." Aina's curiosity only grew. "You must tell me everything. You know I won't rest until I know the whole story." Zola forced a smile. "All in good time, my friend. For now, let's just enjoy this moment." As the weeks passed, Aina became more involved in Zola's pregnancy, often rubbing her belly and talking to the baby. She was always full of questions, trying to piece together the mystery of Zola's secret lover. Kwame, too, seemed unusually interested in Zola's pregnancy, often offering to help with chores and making sure she was comfortable. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Aina and Kwame were sitting in their living room. Aina turned to her husband with a puzzled expression. "Kwame, have you noticed anything strange about Zola lately?" Kwame looked up from his newspaper, his expression guarded. "Strange? How do you mean?" "Well, she never talks about the father of her baby. I find it odd. She's my best friend, and I don't even know who she's involved with." Kwame shrugged, trying to appear nonchalant. "Maybe she wants to keep it private. Not everyone is as open as you are, Aina." Aina sighed. "I suppose you're right. But it just doesn't sit well with me. I feel like there's something she's not telling me." Kwame stood up and walked over to Aina, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry, my love. I'm sure she has her reasons. Just be there for her." Aina nodded, but the nagging feeling in her chest remained. Months went by, and Zola's belly grew. Aina's fascination with the mystery man only deepened. One day, as she and Zola were walking through the village, Aina broached the subject again. "Zola, please, tell me who the father is. I promise I won't judge." Zola stopped in her tracks, her face pale. "Aina, it's complicated. I don't think you would understand." Aina reached out and took Zola's hand. "Try me. You know you can trust me." Tears welled up in Zola's eyes. "Aina, I don't know how to say this." "Say what?" Aina's heart pounded in her chest. Before Zola could respond, Kwame appeared, walking briskly towards them. "Ladies, is everything all right?" Zola quickly wiped her tears and forced a smile. "Yes, everything's fine." Kwame gave Zola a concerned look, then turned to Aina. "I need to talk to you, Aina. It's important." Aina nodded, her mind racing with thoughts. She followed Kwame back to their house, leaving Zola standing alone in the marketplace. Inside, Kwame closed the door and took a deep breath. Abina, there's something I need to tell you. What is it, Kwame? You're scaring me. Kwame's eyes filled with guilt. It's about Zola's baby. Abina's heart skipped a beat. What about it? Kwame looked down, unable to meet her eyes. Abina, I'm the father. For a moment, the world stood still. Abina stared at her husband, her mind refusing to process the words. What did you just say? I'm the father of Zola's baby, Kwame repeated, his voice trembling. Abina's knees gave way, and she sank onto the nearest chair. How could you? How could you do this to me, to us? Kwame knelt before her, tears streaming down his face. I'm so sorry, Abina. It was a mistake, a moment of weakness. I never meant for this to happen. Abina's mind was a whirlwind of emotions, anger, betrayal, confusion. How long has this been going on? Kwame shook his head. It was just once, I swear. It happened months ago, before we even knew she was pregnant. Abina's fist clenched. And you've been lying to me all this time? Watching me rub her belly, pretending to be happy for her, for us. Kwame's shoulders shook with sobs. I didn't know how to tell you. I was afraid of losing you. Abina stood up, her body shaking with rage. You already lost me, Kwame. The moment you betrayed me with my best friend. She stormed out of the house, leaving Kwame on his knees, his cries echoing through the empty room. Abina ran through the village, tears blurring her vision. She didn't stop until she reached Zola's house. Bursting through the door, she found Zola sitting on the sofa, her face a mask of sorrow. How could you, Zola? How could you do this to me? Abina's voice was a mixture of fury and heartbreak. Zola looked up, tears streaming down her cheeks. Abina, I never wanted this to happen. I tried to tell you, but I was too scared. Scared of what? That I would find out my best friend and my husband betrayed me? Abina's words were like daggers. Zola stood, her belly prominent between them. Yes, I was scared. Scared of losing you, scared of facing the truth. Abina took a step back, her heart aching. You've already lost me, Zola. Both of you have. Zola's sobs filled the room as Abina turned and walked out, slamming the door behind her. Days turned into weeks, and Abina avoided both Kwame and Zola. She spent her time with her family and friends, seeking solace in their support. But the pain of betrayal was a constant companion, gnawing at her heart. One evening, as the village was bathed in the golden light of sunset, Zola approached Abina's house. She stood at the gate, her eyes filled with desperation. Abina, please. I need to talk to you, Zola called out. Abina stepped onto the veranda, her expression cold. What do you want, Zola? Zola's voice trembled. I know I've hurt you deeply, and I don't expect you to forgive me. But I want you to know that I am truly sorry. Abina crossed her arms, her eyes hard. Sorry isn't enough, Zola. You betrayed me in the worst possible way. Zola nodded, tears streaming down her face. I know. And I'll live with that guilt for the rest of my life. But I want to make things right, as much as I can. Abina's heart softened slightly, seeing the genuine remorse in Zola's eyes. How do you propose to do that? Zola took a deep breath. I'm leaving the village. I'm going to start fresh somewhere else. I don't want to cause you any more pain. Abina's eyes widened. Leave. But what about the baby? I'll raise the baby on my own. It's the least I can do to make up for what I've done, Zola said, her voice breaking. Abina's anger wavered, replaced by a profound sadness. Zola, we were like sisters. How did we end up here? Zola shook her head, tears falling freely. I don't know, Abina. I wish I could turn back time and undo everything. But I can't. All I can do is try to move forward. Abina took a step forward, her eyes softening. I don't know if I can ever forgive you, Zola. But I hope you find peace. Zola nodded, her face a mixture of sorrow and relief. Thank you, Abina. I wish you the same. As Zola turned to leave, Abina watched her go, a heavy weight lifting slightly from her heart. The road to healing would be long and painful, but she knew she had the strength to walk it. In the months that followed, Abina slowly rebuilt her life. She and Kwame went their separate ways, both realizing that the wounds of betrayal were too deep to heal. Abina focused on her own happiness, finding solace in her work and the love of her friends.